had than try and grab another. Stephen Richards awkward there on the outside at turn 3. It's so fast around there, particularly on cold tyres. The cars are nervous.
And so slow here. Ingle caught on the outside of Lowndes.
Oh, trouble for James Courtney. Damage in the front of the car. Skates to the grass, but gets away with it.
Yeah, we got on to you, mate. Just keep your head down. Just keep it nice and smooth.
Well, he rejoined cleanly, so that's the good news. A drag race between Bright and Murphy. But look at Kelly. Commanding start from the 2006 title holder. Nice dive on the inside from Stephen Johnson on one of the Team VOC cars.
Good jump away here for Rick Kelly. He's made about 4 or 5 car lengths now in this opening lap. Whincup settled into his spot.
Around turn 10 for the first lap. It's a word you'll hear a lot of, a rhythm. 1:42, a standing first lap for Rick Kelly. 0.6 of a second the difference between him and Mark Scaife. And a further 0.3 of a second behind is Whincup.
Quiet first lap in many respects. Or was it?
This is Tander. That's the squeeze that Jason Richards found at turn 2. Well, this is an interesting little play. And that's James Courtney's troubles.
Yeah, he was sandwiched in there between Mark Winterbottom and Stephen Richards, and one of the toll cars is off the road. I think it's Rick Kelly. So the race leader has gone off at turn 4.
He has. Rick Kelly rejoins some 6 or 7 places down. There he is, finds himself alongside Mark Winterbottom, behind Winterbottom. This will explain it, a lock up at turn 4. Kelly goes off on the grass. Scaife and Whincup. Todd Kelly and Garth Tander and Craig Lowndes, they all go past.
Yeah, the unweighted front left wheel. He's grabbed a lot of brake pressure while there's still some side load, lateral load on the car, and it's just grabbed, locked, and carted him a couple of car lengths wider than he needed to be.
Very concerned Eric Pender in the Toll HSV garage. And by the way, Mark Scaife on that lap was putting down some pretty good times, so this will be a handy first flying lap for Scaife. The time of it, it's a 1:36.
We'll be right.
Eric Pender trying to coach Rick Kelly back into form. He's gone from 1st to 10th in the space of 2 laps.
So the big winner in this little process has been the man that's 4th at the moment, Garth Tander. Jumped up from position 7. Opportunistic in that opening lap. He got past a couple of cars and then his teammate's gone off the road, and that's actually helped his cause. That is Garth Tander's cause. So Scaife's got a 0.6 of a second lead at the control line last time through. Whincup safely in 2nd at the moment, but it's anything but safe here for 3rd, 4th and 5th. In fact, even beyond that.
Neil just heard on the radio the officials having a look at the rear of car 6, Stephen Richards' motor car. Loose rear body work. The team have come out on the wall after hearing that, and there is indeed loose body work. They're just getting the tape out now just in case the officials decide to give him a black flag.
Garth Tander is showing a lot of aggression, not only to stay in front of Craig Lowndes, but also try and take that position in front of him of Todd Kelly. Team Surrey cars is in pit lane.
Owen Kelly.
Last time around, Mark Scaife had a 0.6 of a second gap over Jamie Whincup.
Big understeer in the A-shed and turn 3. 10-4.
Scaife's increased that now to 1.1 seconds.
I think a mechanical black flag for Stephen Richards as predicted by Daniel, and they'll bring that car in for the loose rear bodywork problem that he spoke of.
Craig Lowndes at work for Team Vodafone. He's got Garth Tander ahead of him. Paul Morris is in the garage with car 67. Very interesting scenario going on at the front here. Scaife leading the way. He's pulling away too. Title leader Jamie Whincup is second. It's the damage down at turn 8 for Max Wilson and Morris.
It looked like Paul just came over the top of the hill a bit quick, got stuck up on the ripple strip, and then because he wasn't able to pull the car up, the two of them have made contact down there at the bottom of Lukey Heights in turn number 8. Mark Scaife, fastest lap of the race, 1:36.1. He's got a 1.1 second margin over Jamie Whincup. And Jamie in turn with a little margin over Todd Kelly. These numbers will shift in a few moments.
Wouldn't be surprised if Scaife has pulled it further away. 1.1 turns into 1.4.
Yeah, Mark's lap, that lap was a 36.2. Jamie's was a 36.5. Todd's was a 36.3. Craig Lowndes also did a 36.3. We're with him at the moment.
Around the southern loop. Turn 2. Back on the hammer for turn 3. And then hard, heavy.
250 kilometres an hour, that run down to turn 3 as Richo comes in for the repair on that rear bumper assembly. They've got the tape ready to stick it all back appropriately. There's a very high degree of sensitivity because of spectator safety in particular for any loose body work on the cars. The industry can't afford to have anything flying off, and that's the reason the mechanical black flag is shown.
Mark Scaife has control of the race by about 1.5 seconds, but the battle between Whincup, Tander and Lowndes in particular is an interesting one. They're all inside the top 5. Rick Kelly's job is to fight back because he's down in 10th position. Another lap done here, race 1. Of the Dunlop Grand Finale. And talk about even, Neil. Aside from Scaife, who's now pulled away to 1.7 seconds, Whincup, Todd Kelly, Garth Tander and Craig Lowndes in particular are all posting lap times within hundreds and thousands of each other. Grant Denye's doing some work for us in pit lane. Welcome, Grant.
How you going, Marty? Just talking to Eric Bender there, just about the state of Rick Kelly's car at the moment, and also his championship hopes. And pinching those front 2 tyres a little earlier on has cost him. He is bleeding a little bit as a championship contender. It's knocked the pace off just a little bit. They don't think, though, they're going to adjust their pit stop strategy. So Rick's hurting.
Certainly would be. From positions 2 down to 5, Neil, is remarkable. Watch them on the timesheets, exactly the same. Watch them on the road, exactly the same.
Yeah, they're all waiting for someone to blink at the moment. The pit stops will be on us any tick of the clock. Compulsory pit stop window has opened. So we'll see who decides to come in or who, in fact, wants to run a bit longer. Tyres get hurt so much around here. There may be a few who choose us, as you go down the field at least, choose a slightly riskier strategy of just staying a little longer. It shortens up the segment on that next tyre set. Rick having a look here over the top of the hill at Mark Winterbottom.
Mark's having a look at Will Davison, who's done another good job to qualify inside the top 10.
So several of them peeling off, including Winterbottom. Mark Scaife with a 1.7 second lead, choosing to stay out there.
It's now a 2.1 second lead as he crosses the control line.
Long way to go, but if things stay as they are, this gives Jamie Whincup an extra 5 points over Garth Tander. That's critical.
Go! Watch your pit lane speed, mate. Good job.
Todd Kelly. Oh, he stalled.
Clear.
Did he stall it or maybe he just waited? Might have just been waiting. I might have maligned him there.
Winterbottom in and out.
CPS light off, mate.
So Scaife stayed out there, Whincup, Tander and Lowndes Davison, Rick Kelly, Greg Murphy all stayed out.
Guys, there is nothing like the pressure of this final round. Just a moment ago, Team Vodafone had tyres set to go for Jamie Wincup's car. Now, Roland Dane, the team boss, called them all back in. They picked up the 4 tyres, took them back in, packed everything away and waited. They've decided to leave Jamie out a little longer.
Incidentally, in the manoeuvring in the pit lane, then Todd Kelly lost a spot to Jason Richards. Right about now, and that was Whincup peeling off in front of Tander. Right about now, you're just beginning to get the first feelings.
More opportunities. Lowndes out of control. You've got good opportunities.
Matt Wilson on the radio. Right about now is when you start to feel the tyres hurting on this track. It comes pretty quickly because all 4 work so brutally hard around here. And what you've got to be really careful of is you look at the times here, they're in the 36s, dramatically slower than the way they've qualified, is to not ask the car to do something it just isn't going to deliver for you.
Jamie Whincup into pit lane.
Clear, away you go. Pit lane's clear. Watch your pit speed.
As Whincup that peeled off in front of Garth Tander, like I thought.
Cold rear tyres. Head down, mate.
And Todd Kelly did just pause in the pit lane. He didn't stall the car. He was obviously just trying to slot back into the traffic without any disturbance. Look at this. This is a critical one. And that has hurt Jamie Whincup big time.
It certainly has. Jason Richards was the first of the queue to pull in. And Jamie has ended up coming out behind him, behind Todd Kelly as well.
It didn't look to be an inefficient stationary stop, so it must have been something to do with the in portion of the lap or getting into the pit lane, manoeuvring into the pit lane.
Garth Tander, meanwhile, is taking advantage of the clear track between him and Mark Scaife, and to an extent, Craig Lowndes behind him. Scaife is the leader on the road by 2.3 seconds. There he goes. Tander has just done a 1:36.3, and Craig Lowndes has done a 1:36.2.
Yeah. Tander, now that he's been released from the pack, is actually